Now, Heartland Sports with Luke Randall.
The biggest game of the football year on tonight. All the players in that game, they had to start somewhere. Maybe some of these guys we're about to talk about now will be playing in the big game someday. Recruiting trail, Graham Simpson, he's pretty much been averaging an offer or two each week now. The Westview, Tennessee quarterback got an offer from Ohio State last week, and this week, North Carolina. He's got about 20 offers so far, only halfway done with his high school career. Already with the state title, the chance to win 2 more before he's playing on Saturdays. His teammate, Asa Barnes, also has a litany of offers. That number will keep on growing. Barnes getting scholarship offers this week from Virginia Tech, Kentucky, and Liberty. The legacy of Jackson footballs and its O-line products continues. Braden Harris, fresh off getting a scholarship from Missouri, this week being offered to play at Nebraska. Down in Mississippi County, Charleston's got a couple kids with standing college football offers. One of them, Tony Hall, the Blue Jays offensive and defensive lineman, making the decision this week to continue his football journey at Central Methodist. Another star player, this is an awesome story. After suffering a leg injury in the season opener for Cape Central, senior running back Keyshawn Boyd fought his way back onto the field, finished strong, second all-time in Tigers history in rushing yards, and he will get that college chance. Boyd committing to Missouri Baptist. Our final football update, Devin Turnbow signed for SEMO this week. We were at his signing day. He spoke on his decision to sign for the Red Hawks.
It's great. I didn't want to go too far. I mean, I just wanted to play football, to be honest with you. He was straight with me. He didn't lead me on to just go there. He told me how it was going to be right from the get-go.
Turnbow also noted that SEMO being just an hour's drive from home, pretty big upside as his family will be able to travel to many of his games. In addition to the football signings, Notre Dame's Maya Tebow signed to play soccer at Calvin University in Michigan. Jackson basketball manager Isaac Persley signing with Three Rivers for men's basketball. His goal to potentially be a manager for an NCAA tournament team someday. And another Jackson Indian, Dylan Strothman, signing to play baseball at Mineral Area College. His teammates, by the way, Drew Parsons and Adler Flynn, have their college baseball signings tomorrow. Now, there are some sports going on today down in Martin, Tennessee. Murray State Rifle winning the OVC championships. For the Racers, it is their 6th title in a row, 20 all-time now. And head coach Alan Lawler ties a lofty mark. It's his 12th conference title, tying him for the program record as a Murray State head coach. SEMO softball today at Southern Mississippi. The Red Hawks in the 2nd inning right here, and it's Gracie Luna. That is a 2-run homer. It would give SEMO the lead in this one, and they would hold on to it for quite a while in Hattiesburg. Going into the 6th inning now, Southern Miss, the Golden Eagles looking to get something going, and unfortunately for SEMO, they would. Right here, pretty shot right out there to left field. The Golden Eagles were able to tie it. Later on in the inning, though, this is where disaster really struck. I think it was kind of lost in the sun right here a little bit, just slightly off position. Madison Winkler right there. Southern Miss would get the lead 5-2. SEMO, last chance, not going to have it. Southern Miss takes the win. And before we go, the Super Bowl was not the most exciting game, but the Seattle Seahawks are the champions.